What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Road to Glory Career Mode. Now then, as you guys may or may not know, recently there has been a hashtag flying around to do with the career mode side of things, and that was hashtag change career mode, right? I didn't really get involved in this because, first and foremost, what you're about to see today, there's clearly problems underlining other things, not necessarily just even career mode. I agree. There needs to be changes to it, and I agree that there needs to be things added for next year. But the truth be told is, I can't quite grasp the fact that when these changes, if they do come back into it, or additions, they won't, generally speaking, unless there's going to be something massive, be new additions. If you look back to the years gone by and look at how much they've taken out of this mode, in the grand scheme of it, honestly, if they then just re-add all this, I will genuinely still be surprised that it's going. Just saying, right? I'm glad that a lot of people have got behind this hashtag because something does need to be done. But today's episode, I'm going to show you some things that clearly something isn't right, okay? Now, like I always say, I love FIFA, man. It's the go-to game for me. It's the game I always played, especially in the last couple of years, you know what I mean? And I still enjoy it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyways, jumping into the gameplay of today's episode then. First up was Swansea at the Liberty Stadium. You can see we're still in the top four just about at this current time, trying to make sure we stay there. As I said to you guys previously, as my character or my manager is stood in the middle of a board. Highlight number one, ladies and gentlemen, as I am glitched into a board somehow. As we are in the playoffs, that is where I want us to finish this season at least, so that we can actually have a go at trying to make sure we get out of this league. Now, as I said to you guys, I do think if we go up this season, it will be a hell of a struggle to stay in the Premier League. So I would be quite happy just getting in the playoffs and then even maybe losing. That's, you know, I'm not really going to be too fast if that actually happens. Obviously, it would be great to go up, but it just gives us an extra year to kind of prepare in many ways and get ready for it. Now, the game against Swansea, as you guys know, since we bumped it up to Ultimate, I'm struggling to really put the ball in the back of the net. And that's, generally speaking, what happened here. We were dominating the game for large parts of it. Into the second half, Ethan Cox has a shot blocked, falls to Shaw, and Shaw puts it narrowly wide. And this seems to be the issue. And I thought that Tim Ware coming back last episode would have changed this. I was thinking, Ware's going to bang him in for fun from now on. I was wrong, because this game against Swansea, we did literally everything but put the ball in the back of the net. Cox, again, trying to have an effort going goalwards, but the keeper saving it. And then the corner gets whipped in, and you'll see, unfortunately, as we go with the short, trying to put the cross in, it's headed out. Chris Sukasev not winning his header, and he is a big unit, Sukasev, so I was slightly surprised by that. But all in all, if he'd have said to me before kickoff, you're going to get a draw at Liberty Stadium against Swansea, I probably would have taken it. It's only as the game's panned out and we see how much dominance we had during the actual game itself that I'm now sat here disappointed in myself and in my team for not getting anything. Look at those match facts. 10 shots, 6 on target, 59% of possession. Swansea without a shot on target. So like I said, before kickoff, I'd have said, yeah, I'll take the point. After the game's been played, I'm very disappointed we didn't get more than just the point from the game. So you have to say, at this current form, you know, the likelihood is we're not going to get automatic promotion. So our fight is going to be for that playoffs, like I said. So that's got to be it. Now, after the game, I know I've said this to you guys before, I'm slightly worried about our defending. So I tried to get a couple of loan players in. We are in deadline day, may I add. Or nearing deadline day at least. So I tried to get a few loan players in. And that's the first one that I did. We managed to try and get Matteo Guendouzi. We're just waiting to see what his answer's going to be. We had agreed with Arsenal to bring him here on a wage split of like 50-50. So quite a bit in terms of wages. But I just looked at it and thought, if we get like a CDM to partner Peterson, because I'm going to switch to a 4-2-3-1 from now, that would be great. You know, that's going to help us out massively in terms of trying to keep out goals and trying to score them as well. You know, if we know we're able to keep out chances and not concede, it gives us that little bit of less pressure being able to go forward and try new things. As Take Fusakubo inside 5 minutes against Forest, who last time we played against them beat us, and we came back to very nearly get a result in that one. We lost 3-2, and Brereton tore us apart. So I was up for a bit of revenge here, if you will. We got a penalty very, very early, and it fell to the feet of Tim Weah, who has missed his last penalty for the club. But new time for Tim Weah to come back and slot it home from the spot, and a really good penalty it was as well. So let's just give him credit for that, as we took the lead after 6 minutes. Like I said, the Guendouzi loan signing, if he comes in, is just to help us out. And I was looking at a couple more, and the reason that this episode is slightly shorter today is because we still have a deadline day to go. I've got something planned on deadline day. Currently, we've got a couple of unhappy players at the club. Ayite is unhappy with his current, kind of situation, wanting more first-team football. But truth be told, I'm not a fan. And Trupe as well, that goalkeeper, both want out of the club. So my plan is to try and get a few swap deals going. Whether or not that's going to work, we're going to have to wait and see. It may be the case that I try and bring in a couple of defenders and do a few swap deals in and around. But I don't know exactly what sort of players to go for at this current time. So I guess I'm just going to have to think about it. Mostly, it's got to be defenders because I think that's our weakest point currently. I know I'm struggling to put the ball in the back of the net. But then again, the way it's going at the same time, when we can see goals like this, you just have to look at this and say, there are 3 opportunities there that we could have got this out. We've given away the free kick. It's a hopeful punted ball up the field of play. We lose the first header. We don't get close to the second player. I'm not even sure who loses this first header. I think it's Darfalou. But look at the starting position that he gets all wrong. Not sure what he's doing. The flip then comes to Brereton. And we've seen him finish before. And we know how good he is. So, yep, can't allow that to happen. And with the last few minutes of the game... Just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, this young man right here was signed at the beginning of the episode, if you saw it, for free. Maripan. He's in because we lost Fran Garcia. Obviously, we sold him because he was contract expiry at the end of the season. So he's a 59 rated left back. Threw him into the mix here against Forest, and he's already picked up a red card in his debut. Now, I want to say this. I didn't expect that to be a red card. I literally brought him down because I thought I'm not conceding late on. I've got to bring him down and do a professional foul. So I understand why he's been sent off, but I just found it quite comical that he got a red card in his first game as a Grimsby Town player. So unfortunately, it is not the revenge we were looking for against Forest. We only get the single point, so that's now a 0-0 draw against Swansea and a 1-1 draw against Forest. The goal coming from the spot, obviously, but again, possession dominated, shots dominated. We just can't seem to find the finish whenever we need it. So we're going to have to find a way of putting the ball in the back of the net. I don't care how it happens. It could be an arm, it could be a foot, it could be a leg, it could be a chest, anything. As long as this ball goes in the back of the net, I will be very, very happy. So we have a chance to redeem ourselves here just before we go into that deadline day because we've got Bristol City up next. And you can see we're still in the top 4. We're still 4th as well. But we are very slowly beginning to drop behind Cardiff at the top and the 2nd place as well. So we need to kind of pick it back up. Now, going into the game against Bristol City, you can see Guendouzi's joined the club. So he started, but we had a few issues with a few other players in terms of fitness. So Morris comes in at centre defensive midfield as well. Got Robert starting on the left instead of Mitchell van Bergen. Cox not really looking great in terms of that one. Janssen starts up front. It was just basically us trying to just find a team together. So I'm not going to lie, I wasn't feeling that confident heading into this one. But you never know. You never know what will happen. I mean, I said that previously, and we took on a team last time out, and we scored 3 times in 30 minutes. It was against Middlesbrough, wasn't it? And then I would have not said that was our strongest lineup. So who knows how this one's going to go. But then I saw their team, and I was like, 4-4-2, we can do this. We can win. 100% we can win. Now, remember earlier on when I was speaking about the fact that I've got a few things to show you. I knew this was a thing, but I didn't actually genuinely realise just how bad it actually was, okay? So, 35 minutes in, they play the ball through, Brownhill gets in, takes the shot on, great finish, and I was sat there going, well, got a bit of a problem now. 1-0 down in the game, and I'm not really playing too great at the minute. It was only as I took another look at this goal that I realised actually what had happened. At first, I just wanted to actually look and see how he was able to generate the power, and it was this angle that I kind of noticed it, right? And yes, as I've said before, I do know I have seen this before. It has popped up on my Twitter feed, in the past where things had happened, right? But I was looking at this and thinking, let's say I was a pro, right? And this is like, an event where I've got to win and actually have to play to win. The ball should not be going through a player's foot, okay? Like I said, I know this has already been pointed out to EA, but truth be told, it's just like, how is it still a thing? I don't get it. I don't get how that ball can travel through a player's foot. And just so you guys know as well, we get one later on in this that I'm going to show you as well from our perspective, because I want you guys to know as well that obviously I'm not just going to show you theirs and then not show you ours. It's happened on both sides, and it still frustrates me because it shouldn't be happening. At this point, we were down to 10 men, and it was a tackle which we'd put in from Sykes. I'll let you guys deliberate this, okay? Because, yes, he comes from behind, but look at how much the ball he wins. Clearly gets a strong foot on that. He comes in from behind, though. So the referee in me is saying that's a red card. The Grimsby Town manager in me is saying that's got to be a good tackle. Now, as I said, I'll let you guys deliberate that in the comment section. Over to you to decide it. But Down to 10 men, having to fight our way back into it. At this point, I genuinely didn't care how the game would finish. So I was like, I'll just, you know, play normal football, see what happens. And inside the second half, we actually got back into the game as the cross was put in and McNeil headed us back into it at 1 apiece. Again, though, I was just sat there like, yeah, whatever, it is what it is. But this is the bit that now I've got to show you from my part. Great ball over the top from Robert. In towards Guendouzi, brings it down, shoots, and finishes it to make it 2-1. But again, take another look at this one, and you'll see exactly what I was talking about when I said it happens on my part as well. Just the overall way this ball goes towards Guendouzi's feet is a little bit ridiculous. Let's have a look at it. You'll see it. There it is. No problem at all, but you may have noticed it very quickly. I'll show you in a instant replay right here. So it goes effectively through that leg for him to control it on the right boot before travelling through his left boot for him to then take the strike on. I want to sit here and say that that's possible, you know, in real life, but it's not. It really isn't. So this whole change career mode side of things, alongside it being needing to add new additions, they've got to sort out the gameplay, man. They really have to. Like, that just shouldn't be happening. Put it this way, if I was a pro player, right, and I'm nowhere near a pro player, but if I was, and it happened to me in an event and I conceded a goal, I would be there and then questioning the developers and saying, what on earth is that? To be honest, you know, the amount of players that play this game, the amount of money that's spent on this game, the overall fan base of this game, things like that shouldn't happen. So that's all I'm going to say about it. Nevertheless, we were 3-1 up in the game with 10 men and we put the ball in the back of the net 3 times. I think it was because I was just not tryharding at this point. I just didn't care. We got a fourth goal after going 1-0 down in the game and falling to 10 men. And we completely turned the game around and ended up going 4-1 in front. So I was just sat there, like, baffled. I mean, I need to do this more often, go down to 10 men. Or I need to just kind of take each game as it comes and not really care about the result. I think that was the best bit of doing. Sometimes I get a little bit too try-hardy in essence. And that kind of puts a downer on things. But my goodness me, to say we went down to 10 men, to come back the way we did and win that game, I was happy with the boys. So a 4-1 win to end the episode off. We're into deadline day. I need some new signings, potentially. A couple of swap deals to come. We'll see what happens in the next episode. But I do want you guys to understand this as well. This episode was not about me kind of, you know, slating it. I just want them to understand that right there, you know, the ball travelling through players' feet, it just shouldn't happen, right? It just shouldn't happen. But anyways, guys, that's the end of today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed the earlier video today and the earlier video, because we uploaded 2 before today's video. So yeah, if you've seen them both, thank you for your support as always. If you did enjoy this one though, a like would be greatly appreciated. And until next time, guys, I'll try and get you another episode out tomorrow. Adios.